welcome back to Framsham Forge YouTube. I'm going to do another short little film for you, and someone's asked me, and what we're going to do is, last one we done was hot cutting in an 85 ton iron worker. I'm going to make a swage tool and hot cut in the power hammer, but I'm also going to show you how the bending jigs work that I've done the other day and how I make my swage reins, and I'll go through it. So I'll just make it up and I'll just show you. So first thing I'm going to do is I've got a bit of lorry spring. So you want a bit of hard steel. So I use these old truck springs for the blade. I'll just cut him off with the gas bottles. You can use a disc cutter if you want a really nice cut, but I want to be quick, so I'll just flame cut it off and then I'll grind it up. Another induction heater ready to go out. That's a 40 kilowatt one we sold. I'm going to put some on about that as well. I've got to film that for somebody soon. Right, I'll just put him down here. It's a bit of old spring off the old trucks from the quarry. So I've got one at an angle, one straight. Wear ear defenders if it gets too noisy. I'll tidy him up a bit, I just want to grind that. So that's my blade. I've left it at an angle like that so I can just butcher it away when I'm using it. I mean, you can grind it into a real point if you want, or double-sided depending on how you want to cut, but I like mine like this for this tool. Now that's going to be the end of where my blade goes onto the swage tool. Now it's spring steel. I normally weld it on with 29.9 differential welding rods, but for this I'll just MIG weld it on to show you. But if you use a stainless steel base welding rod, it will bite into the spring and it's a bit stronger. Otherwise, if you just weld some spring, it can break off. So if I just do this here, probably have him about there. Alright, and we'll just cut that off. I'll move that bit there. quicker than a hacksaw. Right, there's another 2 bits. Now I've cut a piece of stock bar, which I know will fit in my bottom die if I put it on the ST hammers, or it fits in the little bit I put on the Massey. So this will go on a tool. Now I'm going to measure it out for the size that I want, and you'll see. I mean, I don't tend to use rulers much for stuff like this. I'll do it by eye. I'll use a bit of wire. Now this is great stuff. You can use armature wire, or that's a soft tie-in wire that's annealed from the galvanisers. Put that little tool in there. And I'm just going to get a rough idea on how long I want the tool. Go about there. Go about there. And that'll come round. I'll probably use a bigger one of these. We'll have a look. And that one comes down about there. So if I undo that, right now I can measure out what I want. Middle. Right, turn the hammer on now. Right, it's a little tool here, look, it's got a round bar and a hammered in the bottom swage, and then my spigot on there which locks in all the hammers. Steady on. There's having a little pin in here, I'll show you. So I've marked roughly where the middle is. I'll draw them down anyway after. Try that. Helps if you mark the right side. Far out. So there's my spring swage, and It's nice and rigid now on the end, it's nice to hold. I'll put my little handle on there, but I'll start welding it together. But they're crack on them tools, I use them all the time. I'll just have a little look and I'll see roughly where I want to put this location peg on. Don't put your hands near the hammer. Oh, just put a silly welder's out on, there you go. Almost east most of my life. Well, like I say, I'd weld these normally with 29.9 stainless steel, but we'll just do it with MIG just for now if it's quicker. when you're welding, make sure there's no weld sticking up and smash into your hammer dies. And this will self-locate itself anyway. We'll get it roughly right. I'll just put a little spigot on and lock it in. And go try it out. Beating this down a little bit, just heat him up or just quick up so it lays flat. Oh, steady on. Now another little trick I do with these coils, and I ain't done it lately, is spray them with heat-proof paint and it stops that sparking. But it's worn off, so I need to recoat them. Right, now the bottom of this is mild steel and it's sacrificial, so as we use it, we don't hammer too hard, but sometimes what I'll do is put a sacrificial plate on there. When it gets all gnarled up, then I'll just keep changing it, but I'll show you what this is for. So if I want to cut on the power hammer and I'm doing anything, I can get them out really quick and change the tools. So if I heat the bar up, they're for hot cutting. Because of the shape, it'll give me a square cut one side. If you like the tool system I was using, it's a Barnett bottom die. We make these, Amyang ST sell these, I do them to fit all the Amyang hammers. They're on our website if you'd like to buy them. And the little tool fits in there. So you'll see on future videos, as I'm putting stuff and I'm putting them in a tool holder, these are the dies. So there it is, look, Barnett bottom die. There's several sizes for each machine. And we ship worldwide. So I've got quite a nice cut on it. Tool needs to bend in a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna mount it. I can get him to cut all the way through, but I try and be gentle, because if you're really harsh on the tooling, you just hammer it into the on the bottom. But there you go, look. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and it helps a few people. You can experiment with the angle when you're doing it, but it's just really quick. When we're in big production, what I'll do is just have the tools there, I'll draw out, put that in, cut it off, draw out, put it in, cut it off. Saves you messing about with a little bit of bar and a bit of hammer and having to put a soft pad on the bottom of the hammer die to cut on. If you're just doing small stuff, that's a quick and easy way, but try to avoid really hammering the tool down into the bottom of the plate. Thank you very much. I'll see you again.